guys, welcome to J Claus Anime Talk, and today we're going to be talking about Asta's Second Sword, Demon Dweller's Sword, a continuation of the series I started a while back, where I discussed Asta's first sword, the Demon Slayer's Sword. Now, if you have missed that video, I will leave a card up on the right hand corner. You should probably watch that one before you watch this one to understand the systems of Asta's anti-magic swords, or you can just watch this video and watch that one after. But as always, if you guys enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like on this video and also subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to see more. We almost at 3K, so let's go for it. So without further ado, let's talk about Asta's Second Sword, Demon Dweller's Sword. Now, for starters, we already know that Asta finding this sword was completely different than how Asta got his first sword. The first sword came out of his grimoire, while the second sword was found in an ancient dungeon during the battle between Mars. And a lot of people say that this was just plot convenience because Mars had the advantage against everyone, but I believe that Tabata written this in a way where he knew that Asta was at a disadvantage and will continue to be at a disadvantage when he fights anyone who is faster than him because the Demon Slayer's sword is way too heavy. Now, since the Demon Slayer's sword and his Demon Dweller's sword are both filled with anti-magic, they both can do the same thing. They have one thing in common, and that is cutting magic. But both swords definitely have crazy amount of differences. Some have advantages and disadvantages. As I talked about in part 1 of this series, the Demon Slayer's sword has the ability to send magic back when it's turned on its flat. And also the crossguard of the blade can also remove mental enchantments just by touching someone's head. So yes, there are things that the Demon Slayer's sword can do that the Demon Dweller's sword cannot do, but that does not make the Demon Dweller's sword less unique. One thing that's really special about the Demon Dweller's sword is its ability to absorb someone's magic. The sword has the power to bond with Asta's allies, use their magic within his sword, and use it as an attack. We've seen this happen when Noel said some encouraging words to Asta when he was fighting Mars. The sword corresponded with Noel's water magic, and that water magic was sent to Asta's sword, giving it a cool glowy look, and that water magic was sent flying one swing of the sword by Asta that almost did the finishing blow to Mars, but thanks to the job was done. We also seen this happen when Asta was fighting Sally and her crew, when Asta's sword became a purple glow because the sword bounded with Ghosh and it absorbed his mirror magic, and it was used the exact same way as a magic slash attack. It would have been really cool to see if Asta absorbs Magna magic or Lux magic, and it would have been like lightning blade slash or a fire blade slash. That's something I really wish that would have happened. Now, one thing that's really impressive about Asta wielding this sword is that it's not as heavy as the Demon Slayer's sword, but it's still heavy. That was confirmed by Julius when he tried to hold the sword and he was struggling. I don't want to say Julius is extremely weak. I think that's just a testament to how strong Asta is. But while holding this sword, it was also confirmed to us that if you have magic holding the Demon Dweller's sword, your magic will be absorbed. If you're not Licht, you're not wielding this sword, and we'll talk about that later in the video. But what's also awesome about this sword is that even getting cut by the Demon Dweller's sword, your magic is being drained just by a simple cut. During the battle between Asta and Vetto's wounds could not heal because Asta Demon Dweller's sword kept cutting him and preventing and canceling out Vetto's healing magic. When Asta stabbed Vetto with the sword and it was left in his body, the sword was weakening Vetto, making it hard for him to even move. It definitely took a while for Vetto to notice the sword was absorbing his mana and preventing him to move, but that just to show you the sword is not overpowered because it does not take away your magic once it's inside of you, like right that instant. It definitely takes a while. It's a build-up. But that's just one of the awesome things about the Demon Dweller's sword. Now, the importance of this sword is that it gives Asta the ability to be more mobile. One of Asta's biggest weakness early on in the series is that when a magic mage is far distance from him and also is super fast with her magic attacks, it was very hard for Asta to counter it. That's why Asta was struggling against Radies and Jimmy when they were using barrage fast magic attacks before he used his second sword. Asta has to be physically stronger and more athletic when he's fighting a magic mage that is known for close range attacks and lacks long range magic attacks. Asta was able to be somewhat mobile with the Demon Slayer's sword when he fought Kyoto. Kyoto really didn't give room for Asta to breathe, but if Asta was to use his Demon Dweller's sword in that instance, the fight would have been different. Just like how if Asta would have had the Demon Duelist sword when he fought Mars the entire time, that fight would have been done quickly. The only time when Asta is at a disadvantage when he's using both swords is when someone is physically and more faster than him, especially when they are close range magic fighters. We seen that happen when Asta was fighting Vetso, and Vetso was way too powerful. Asta needed help from Fenrir and Vanessa to help defeat Vetso. And of course, we already know how that fight ended. Yami came in to save the day, and that was one of the best moments in Black Clover. But now currently in this series, those disadvantages are starting to narrow down for Asta because now he has that Black Asta form that makes up for his lack of speed when he's fighting someone that is faster than him. Now, the true origin of these swords that we know of is that they are from Licht, the leader and the former owner of both swords, but now Licht has the Demon Duelist sword back. In Black Clover episode 100, probably the best episode so far, Licht took the sword back from Asta, and the way that Licht used the Demon Duelist sword was way more advanced than what Asta could do. It was able to absorb any magic and any mana in the facility that was sent to him. No matter what kind of magic attack it is, he's able to absorb that magic that is sent to him and is able to absorb that magic with the sword and send it right back in a stronger attack. That ability Raya talked about, saying that this is one of the true powers of the Demon Duelist sword. Asta was not able to use the Demon Duelist sword to its true potential like Licht, but it probably makes sense because Licht is the former owner. He's the first one who had this sword that we know of. Now, this is a slight spoiler, nothing too grand, it's really not a big deal, but if you don't want to hear this, then you can click off now, but I definitely appreciate you for staying this long. But if you want to hear it, then let's get to it. But the sword never returns to Asta. Licht took it away. Throughout the series after these events, even up to date with the manga, the sword never returns to Asta. Maybe one day, but we do know that Licht took it away, so probably never. But that's okay because Asta does get a new sword. At the end of episode 100, after the credits, you did see the new sword, the Demon Destroyer sword, go into Asta's grimoire. So of course that will be the next sword I will explain to continue on this series. I'm pretty sure we will get to see this sword come into play with this week's episode, but I could be wrong, but I think that is the case. But if that is the case, you guys will get an explanation on that sword very soon. So with that being said, I appreciate every single one of you for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more content. Don't forget to join the Discord. I'll put the link in the description. The Discord was announced a few days ago, so if you missed that, I'm letting you know now. Follow me on Twitter, that's also in the description. So you guys have an awesome life, you guys take care of yourself, and I'm out.